Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. Brundi, I believe right off the bat that you said you had something you wanted to start with, so we won't waste any time getting into the episode. And hit us with our first segment.
Just dive right into it.
Right in.
Yeah, and it's perfect that we kind of actually finally have a little bit of Olympic stuff to talk about since not a lot of stuff happening around the league at this moment. So, pull it up here. So you haven't really heard this at all, but it's been making the rounds today. And it sounds like Team Canada for the upcoming Olympics, their roster is almost decided. There's only a few kind of conversations left that they're having. So
right.
I'm just gonna kind of, and again, like none of this is fully confirmed, but it's as close as it can pretty much get to confirmed.
Right.
And a couple of different players, kind of different battles, all the way across the board. So we'll kind of just go through them here and see what you think about it. We'll kind of go
so we
through
got like
them
specific. We got rather specific stuff that is like this is like most of it's probably going to be set in stone.
Yeah, pretty much from kind of what it sounds like. Yeah. I'll let you pick because we got some forward stuff, defense and stuff, and goalie stuff. So where we can start between any of them.
You know what? It's going to be quicker than the others because it's less guys. Let's start with the goalies.
The goalies. This one is, nobody shocked by this. So from what it sounds like, is Jordan Binnington is a lock.
Sure, of course.
So that's not a surprise. And then it sounds like it's basically they're going to pick two of Logan Thompson, Darcy Kuemper, Mackenzie Blackwood. So kind of exactly what we figured it was going to basically be. There was those four goalies, and you kind of had to give Binnington a spot because
he's just
of the Four Nations.
Yeah,
had to go that route. So not a surprise there.
The only surprise I would say is that Scott Wedgwood isn't involved in those four. Personally, I wouldn't bring him, but there's been so many rumors. He was great to start the season with the Avs. Don't get me wrong; he's been phenomenal to start the year with the Avs. But Scott Wedgwood, like, is he gonna be stopping a power play of, Austin Matthews, Gensel, the Kachucks, and Quinn Hughes, or like whatever their top unit is? Like
it would be tough. And
yeah,
if he came, it would. A great season from him, no doubt, and like deserves the recognition he's getting. But for the Olympics, you need, I think, a bit more of a track record than a hot start to a season, right? Forwards, defensemen.
Let's go to the forwards.
Go to the forwards. So it sounds like Macklin Celebrini and Tom Wilson are likely on the team.
Okay. Well, Celebrini 100% should be on the team at this point. Like, if you ended the season right now, he's probably a Hart finalist. Yeah. Like, he's one of only three players at 50
points right now, alongside McKinnon and McDavid. So pretty good company to be alongside of there.
Two guys that are both going to wear A's for the team probably, and both guys who were already named to the team. Like, he should 100% be there. Tom Wilson is not exactly a surprise, but I don't mind it. He's one of the bigger bodies, the grinding guys that can still produce really well. Like, he's been scoring at a crazy rate this season, so I don't know if he should be solidified on the roster yet, but if he ends up going, I don't mind it.
I think Tom Wilson definitely should be on the team. And it's so dumb because the argument people always make when talking about, like, online, a lot of people is when you're talking about like Sam Bennett, Tom Wilson, they're like, well, there's no fighting. Why would you take them? It's like, they're still effective players even if there's no fighting. And the way that it's kind of looking is the Americans they're building to be a big team. And so if you're Canada, you kind of want to have at least a couple of those guys there to, again, because yes, you can't fight, but there's still a lot of physicality in the game. Probably a lot more because of the smaller ice surface. The physicality is probably going to be a little bit ramped up. And so, I think you need a guy like Tom Wilson, and he fits a fourth line role on the team perfectly. And
he doesn't have to play every game either.
Exactly.
You could literally play him against America, and that's it if you wanted. Like, if that's the main concern, you could just do that, and you could have, Bedard take his spot for every other game, and then when you're playing America, you take out the young small kid and you put in big old Tom Wilson. Because it's not like the Four Nations where there's 3 or 4 games per team. There's a lot of games in this tournament against a lot of teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Connor Bedard. It sounds like Bedard's got a pretty good chance of making it. They're a little bit worried about the injury, and it sounds like they want to make sure that they've got a good replacement if he can't go, type of thing.
Right.
So someone to kind of fill, because when they're picking the team, they're kind of picking guys for what roles they're going to play and where in the lineup. And so wherever they would have had Bedard put, they want to make sure that if he's not going, that they got a replacement that can kind of fit into that role. Or so again, it sounds likely for Bedard, but like we mentioned, the injury makes it a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
No surprise there. Bo Horvat and Nick Suzuki are pushing for a spot, meaning
that makes sense.
They're not, as of right now, put on the team, and they're still kind of battling for one of the maybe the last spot. Maybe it's coming down between the two of them, and you can only pick one or something like that. And a little bit tough because Bo Horvat's injured, so they don't really get the luxury of getting to watch him play right now.
Doesn't make it.
Yeah, I think the injury kind of.
He's a great player,
really
but
when
he was already on the fringe, and that he was fighting an uphill battle, and that injury comes at a horrendous time. I'm surprised,
especially
Suzuki
now when
it's not in that Bedard at least tier of likely to get on the team. Like, we know how good defensively he is. He's had multiple seasons of great offensive production as well. Like, yeah, I'm shocked that he's not on the team.
Yeah, I kind of thought he would already be on there, but I can kind of understand it. Again, me personally, I would put him on the team, but I do understand because going into the season, they weren't probably expecting to have Bedard and Celebrini,
that is
on
fair.
The team.
That's 2 spots. Like, everyone keeps saying, like, these guys are great, you have to put them on. That does mean you have to take 2 guys off the roster.
Yeah. So, and it's really tough for Horvat as well when they're now down to they're only picking between a few guys. So now they're not having to go and watch all these different players. It's just like certain teams. So when a lot of the focus would have been on Horvat and Islanders, he's not even playing in the games to, for them to get a look at him and make that final decision, which sucks. But over on the blue line on defense, another Islander, Matthew Schaefer and Evan Bouchard are battling for the 8th defenseman spot.
So Schaefer's going to the Olympics.
It's coming down to Schaefer. Apparently, they're really high on Bouchard after his recent play, and his his point totals just skyrocketing. And probably a little bit weary about taking Schaefer. For me, I would take Schaefer because I think he just offers a lot more all around as opposed to kind of just in the offensive zone.
He's no slouch in the offensive zone either. So it's there's just that. Frankly, I believe that's the very first time, you saying that right now, that I've heard any official recognition of Evan Bouchard for Team Canada. Like, everywhere I've seen TSN, SportsCenter, anytime they have an argument about the Canadian Olympic team, either they don't mention Bouchard's name at all, or they say, what about a guy that we don't have on the board like Bouchard? And one of them goes, no, he's bad defensively. Okay, move on. Like, nobody's been even thinking about this. And you're telling me he's has a couple goals, a couple assists, and now he's back on the radar? Like,
apparently. Looks to be that's what it sounds like.
We've seen in the playoffs, obviously he dominates with his offensive numbers, but we have plenty of guys who can do that. And we've seen some of the turnovers. Like, there was sometimes, like, it's shocking sometimes how little effort he seems to put in back checking after a turnover. But at the end of the day, a lot of the time, it's a regular season game. He's probably tired. I get it. But there were some times it happened in the playoffs, and I was like, bro, it's the playoff. You're in the conference finals. You're in the cup finals. And you're like, like, I would be skating until my legs fell off, like, to be getting back. And this guy's just kind of coasting. It's like, if he's not going to show up in the later rounds of the playoffs on some of those plays, you're telling me the Olympics he's going to be given 110 all the time? I just don't see it.
It's very interesting when it comes down to the 8th spot, and it's a left-handed defenseman and a right-handed defenseman that both play very differently.
Yeah.
We kind of watch Edmonton's power play, and it can be very effective. Lots of guys do it, but Bouchard's a lot more stationary. Whereas Matthew Schaefer, and again, if Schaefer goes, it's not like he's going to be running a power play or anything, but he's just like a lot more mobile. Like he's always kind of wanting to be moving his feet. And so it's like very just opposite players that, how do you compare them?
There's just no room for Bouchard. You don't need another scoring defenseman. Frankly, I don't even think they should have 2 defensemen on both of their power plays. I think Makar runs the first power play, and honestly, a Mitch Marner should be running the second power play as the defenseman. I don't even think you need, people might overcomplicate it and say a Josh Morrissey or something. You can probably just put the best players out there. Marner knows how to be responsible defensively. He knows how to dish the puck with the best of them. Something like that. Doesn't have to be Marner, but obviously it's more important thinking about the first power play. But
it can be very tough for a guy that who always kind of plays on the half wall on the power play, and then it's like, okay, now the Olympics, you got to go run it from up there and kind of be the quarterback that facilitates it. It can be difficult. It's possible, but it can be very tough.
Yeah.
Last bit of stuff here for the defense. 1, maybe 2 of Travis Sanheim, Colton Parayko, and Thomas Harley could be cut. So it sounds like at least one of them is going to be cut, potentially 2.
I don't see a lot of room for Sanheim.
All 3 guys that were on the Four Nations team.
Sanheim has to be the first of those 3 for me. He's a great player. He just doesn't do it quite as well as the rest of the guys. And Parayko is a guy that there's not a lot of players that have the same style of play and skill set. Even if you wanted to say his height being a skill set, not a lot of guys have that they're looking at. So that's important. Harley's really good, but honestly, I have him on my fantasy team, so I know pretty well he's not performed that well since he came back from his injury. And I'm wondering if that, the way some guys are making a late push to get on the team, that's kind of bringing it down for him. And
potentially could be absolutely. And, because the first thing most people say is, they don't really question the Sanheim or Parayko. It's Thomas Harley and how good he was at Four Nations. And, it's kind of like, how can you take him off when he was so huge? And it's like, well, Shea Theodore's back. He got injured and missed the majority of the tournament. Cale Makar, he missed 1 game, if I'm not mistaken, and Josh Morrissey did. And now you have Matthew Schaefer that's kind of punching his way into the mix. So it's on paper, it'll be like, oh, they're running back a lot of the same guys. But it's like by the time you actually get to it, it's like, after the first game of the Four Nations, their blue line was completely different from what they originally were kind of planning to roll with. And again, that's because of injuries and whatnot. And now they've got more guys coming up. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, if you're looking between, if you have to cut 2 of the 3, I'm probably cutting Sanheim and Harley, because
that was my thought.
The thing with Colton Parayko is he's right-handed, which again is huge, because you're probably, the way that I'm kind of thinking, you're probably only having Makar, Doughty, and Parayko if you have for your right-hand defenseman.
Yep.
Unless I'm blanking on someone. So, and I think you kind of just need a guy that's more of a stay-home guy that, can block shots.
Had some of that physicality we were talking about.
Win the battles in front of the net. And he's more of a defenseman, so you can put him alongside of Theodore and say, hey, jump up in the offense if you want Josh Morrissey, whoever you put alongside him. He can let them kind of have some fun and try and rack up some goals. So, but yeah, that's kind of where it sounds like for where Team Canada's at. Haven't heard anything on any other countries so far. So,
yeah,
that's where we're at currently.
That's really interesting because a lot of the stuff makes a lot of sense, but it's good to hear that they're really on board with bringing Celebrini. I'm hoping Bedard obviously makes it as well. Yeah. Frankly, we are at the point where we shouldn't be saying Binnington's coming. Now, who else? It should be Binnington's coming because of what he did. Logan Thompson because fucking duh. And then the third guy. We don't know yet. Like, it's crazy that they've seemingly left the door open for Blackwood, Kuemper to be brought and Logan Thompson to be left at home. I was just looking earlier, like 2 hours ago, at an article. I want to say it was by some guys at Sports Center, and they had a bunch of their analysts, insiders, whatever, ranking who they had at this point in the season, who they thought would win the Vezina, and 3 out of 5 of them had Logan Thompson.
Yeah, he's had a phenomenal season so far. I think he actually just he got a shutout tonight too. So
yeah, he did against the Leafs. Like, come on, he was in third for the majority of last year in the Vezina conversation. His team let it slip in the final 5 games, and Kuemper kind of edged him out. He was still 4th in Vezina voting. He's right up there with some of the best goalies right now. Insiders are picking him to win the Vezina.
Yeah,
you're telling me he can't be one of the 3 guys going for a country with weak goaltending, frankly. So I just can't see the argument.
Weird, right?
If he doesn't go, it's only because of the front office guys from Vegas having their vendetta against him. That's the only reasonable thing at this point. Like, he's too good of a guy to just be left off because you don't like him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think he absolutely should be on the team, and I think he will. I think at the end of the day, he'll be on the team. I really hope he does. Because again, this is so important for those countries that are going to be in the mix to win gold. Because again, not every country is going to have a chance, and that's just the way it goes. But for the ones that think they got a chance at gold, they're going to be bringing the best possible team in to win, and Logan Thompson provides that. So. But we can move on from all that there and the Olympics. Where would you like to move on to here? We got a couple different news. Again, nothing super crazy going on in the league, but there's still some stuff.
Well, we just talked about him, so we might as well. Darcy Kuemper was placed on IR after a hit to the head from Rantanen. Rantanen, a guy that before this season, there was not a lot of people who disliked him. Not a lot of a history of being that big of a meathead, and wow, has he changed people's perception on him?
Yeah, it's kind of been a real downward slope for him for the last bit with some of the hits and whatnot. This was one of those weird ones where I kind of can kind of see both sides still of what people are saying. But at the end of the day, it is still a hit to the head, and
it
resulted in a goalie being injured, having to leave the game, and now even being placed on IR. So that's 2 players now that Rantanen put on IR and didn't receive a fine or suspension. And for that, I don't like it because again, you never want to see players get injured and whatnot.
It's
but again, like I said though, with this one on Kuemper, I don't think it was intentional. I think the push on Mayfield,
do we care?
And the hit from behind on Coronado, I don't think those were I think those ones were a little bit more on purpose because of the motion, but I think he was more kind of trying to just drive hard to the net. And
I think this definitely looked like the
guy
least
like
purposeful.
That. And when you're a big guy like that,
does it matter that
be aware?
Does it matter that he didn't try to?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying because people are saying he's out there purposely trying to injure people now. And my thing is, I don't think he's purposely trying to injure Kuemper.
Right.
I do think he, at this point in time now, especially this being the third thing, should have gotten a suspension. But I don't think he was driving to the net with the sole purpose of taking out Kuemper. Is kind of my whole thing on it.
Yeah. One of the most annoying things to me is he has injured 3 guys now. Off of these, at least two of them are dirty hits. This one, yeah, I think it was less intentional than the others, but he got an auto suspension because of the misconduct thing, but that's it. He has not been suspended for any of these hits. And I'm going to be so freaking pissed off when he goes out there and acts like a psycho and brains somebody in a month or two. And if they decide to look at it, they're going to go, okay, well, it's only going to be 1 game because he has no history. We haven't suspended him for a dirty hit before. He has no history of this. And we're all going to be sitting there going, look at all this shit, man. Like, it's so annoying that a guy doesn't get an official history until he's been suspended in such a specific way. They look at it as such a black and white. You do it by the rule books. We've all got eyes and ears, man. Pay attention. Open your eyes. Just look around you. Like, you should be able to use whatever you want as reference. Now, obviously, there could be some corruption there. There could be some guys borderline making stuff up or cherry picking moments to be like, oh, this guy the league doesn't really like, or he's on a team they don't favor, and they're like, oh, he kind of has a history because we don't like him. And then some guys on other teams, they can be like, he doesn't, but that's just a case of hire the right people, which the NHL doesn't have a history of doing, but you gotta be wishful thinking about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's all I'll say. I guess to stay on track with some players not getting suspended, some injuries. Brandon Hagel was injured once again by the Florida Panthers, this time after a hit to the head from Seth Jones. And Seth Jones, no suspension for this.
No penalty in the game either. Nothing. And, dude, like, we are past the point of them trying to take him out of hockey games. This is like, they are going to affect Hagel for the rest of his life. This is 3 head injuries in like 8 months. In 3 games against the Panthers in a row, he's been headshot directly and on purpose. Because there's been a couple games against the Panthers in between the Panthers and Lightning, but he wasn't in those games because of the injuries. But the last 3 that he did play in was phenomenal forearm from Ekblad along the boards in the playoffs, sucker punch from AJ Greer in the preseason, and now this with the sticking his elbow out like he's Wade Barrett. Like,
I've got a few things that I'll say on this. Some you'll maybe agree with, some you might not. We'll see what happens, because you're the Tampa fan, so I'm probably going to try to rile you up here while I do it. Again, I'm still on the thing that I think Seth Jones should have been suspended because, again, hit to the head. I don't think it was fully intentional, and I think Elliot Friedman kind of broke it down pretty good. Seth Jones has never been that player, and the one thing that I
never played for a dirty piece of shit coach like this either.
Fair.
This all comes from Paul Maurice. The Panthers were not dirty. Frankly, at best, they were grindy under Andrew Brunette. None of this happened till Paul Maurice. I put the vast majority of this on him. Like, they had some meatheads, but that's guys like what's his name? Punchable face, Nick Cousins. He's gonna do that under any coach. Sure. But like, that's not the fault of a coach. That's just a meathead. Like, their 5th cleanest player is a little dirty, is fairly dirty. Now that they've got Paul Maurice, like, their whole team has changed under him. But sorry, I'll let you keep going. I'll try and not interrupt you too much here.
Again, kind of agreeing with Elliot Friedman. I am okay with, and let me get through the full sentence here, because there's it's a longer sentence.
Right.
I don't hate that Florida goes after Hagel because of the Barkov hit in the playoffs, which Hagel got suspended for, and it hasn't been as consistent since in this rivalry, favoring the Panthers. I don't mind that the Panthers go after Hagel because, again, it's the old hockey thing, eye for an eye. You deliver this cheap hit and whatnot. We're gonna give it back, but you still have to do it. A clean hard hit is fine, but you don't need to be doing the.
We even know Hagel will
the
fight
sucker
too.
punch things, all these little things. It's. You can't be doing that, but if you see him along the boards and you just want to, good old fashioned hit and cram in there, he's trying to take it up the boards. You want to go for a hip check or something, like all for it. It's part of the game, and that's the the risky run when you want to be a physical player. Every guy knows that. But you can't. It can't be all this stuff and actively trying to take him out of games. Like that. That's just wrong, and there's no part in the game for that. Secondly, what the fuck happens to Scott Sabourin and Curtis Douglas? After the preseason mayhem between the two teams, they get, Sabourin makes the opening night roster. They claim big Curtis Douglas off waivers. Why aren't they out there doing stuff? Like, that's the whole reason they got brought in. They're brought in to play 70 games, probably really nice guys, but realistically play 70 games. Maybe they get 5 points on the season, and to just play physical. They're younger Ryan Reeves, basically. You go out there, you get a point every now and then, and you're there
than people give
hit
them credit
and fight.
For.
But that's not what they made the team for.
You're right. It's absolutely not. And
Tampa's got numerous guys in the AHL that could go on that fourth line and produce or play, a good defensive game and just kill penalties or whatnot. Like, these guys are here to be big, be intimidating, stand up for their teammates, and Tampa is not getting that out of them.
Yeah,
and that hurts them because
it's annoying because we are getting it
going out there and fighting it.
And
but it's got to be like if the Panthers did this to Hagel again and those two didn't do anything, it's.
In the days since that Florida game, there has been like 5 posts a day on the Tampa subreddit of where can I buy a Gensel jersey? Like, man, if he felt like a free agent pickup before, he is a bolt now. And people, like myself included, obviously fucking love the way he fought back against that. And yeah, you're totally right. Like,
too, but I'm saying he shouldn't be the one to do it because because if he fought a pretty big guy in Mikkola. If Gensel gets like popped there and injured, it's now like great. You're second best player on the season, arguably your best player on the season, is now out because they had to do something that these two guys that were put on the team for this exact rean didn't do it.
And it's too bad because they play a physical game, and Douglas has like 7 fights on the season already. But they need to amp it up against Florida. That's the main reason they were brought in. Not to just bring physicality to the lineup, to bring physicality against this team specifically. And
that's worrisome if they're doing it against every other team then. Because again, I don't watch a lot of Tampa games and whatnot. Try to catch some, but yeah, that's concerning if your tough guys kind of shy away when you go up against Florida. Like, that's when they need to be.
The league has
ready
put the
war.
Fear of God into them. These guys can't. They are making league men. They it appears that they feel like they can't afford to get suspended and stuff. When, God damn it, that's what you're there for. And people keep saying, what's going to happen if Douglas goes after him. They're going to turtle. They're going to hide. Brundy, what am I going to say next? What do you think? What do you think?
You're probably
going
to agree with that.
Absolutely not. That's the dumbest thing ever. They're going to turtle. Okay. What happens when he turtles? Okay. Now I can't punch him in the face. That means I need to use my fist to break a hole in his helmet so I can punch him in the head. Like, so what? They're going to cheap shot and turtle? There's nothing we can do. We just have to. There's nothing to be done. Of course
you're
not.
Exactly right.
So either go out there and throw the same chicken wing shitty elbows that they're doing, or if they won't fight, just fucking mug them. Just beat the shit out of them regardless. Like, that's your job. And it'd be nice if they fight back and you could just have a fight.
That
they got to
do this against other teams, and have no problem doing it in the HL. But yeah, when it's against Florida, they
both did very much in the first
their...
3 games against Florida. It's not like they won't. It didn't happen this game.
But this is one where Hagel
but they needed to do it.
Game.
But they needed to do it. Yeah.
And that's my biggest issue is, they didn't do anything. And then again, you have Jake Guentzel going in, and if Guentzel gets hurt in that fight or something, because again, it was against Mikkola.
Well, thank fuck he didn't get injured on the elbow too. The elbow on him from Mikkola was about the same in severity, I would say, as the one that happened to Hagel. Hagel's the one who got injured. Guentzel got away from it. So, obviously everyone's talking about that one and not that, but it basically happened twice in the one game to 2 of our star players. So, for fuck's sake, man, this league has to get control. I didn't watch the third period, also. I watched the first 2 periods. Okay. I turned it off. When we face the Toronto Maple Leafs, when we face the Boston Bruins, when we face all these other rivalry teams, those are the most fun games of the season. Facing Panthers is the least fun games for me of the year now, because I'm not waiting for a highlight reel goal. I'm not waiting for a fun save. I'm not waiting to watch good hockey. I'm waiting to see who's going to get injured, and that's not fun. It's
fair.
I've never seen anything like, even when the Bruins were dirtier than they are now. It was always it was an afterthought of hopefully nobody gets injured. Let's play some fucking hockey. I'm not even excited for these games. It's literally taking the fun out of watching them, because there some guys, AJ Greer especially, sometimes they'll take the ice and they'll just glide for 5 seconds looking around at who's on the ice, and you're like, fuck, here we go again. This meathead's about to assassinate somebody. For the love of God. I just want to watch some hockey, man. It really sucks the way that they changed it.
It's
and
the
Department of Player Safety has said this is how it should be. They've won 2 cups off of this, and they're still just not getting suspended for it. And he didn't even get a penalty in the game from it. Come on.
My thing with Department Player Safety, and again, I'm not on the bandwagon the majority of people on. People are saying, and it's gotten extreme now, where people are saying the Florida Panthers have broke the Department of Player Safety, and that's not true, because it's been broken for a long time. This kind of
they're exposing that it's broken.
It's not in previous years it's kind of been stuff from the same team, but that has occurred in instances. But it's just a lot of the same stuff. There's just no consistency within it.
Yeah,
it's maybe getting highlighted more, but it's the same way as it's been the last however long. People are finally just starting to clue into it a bit more. There's numerous players you could roll down the list of, and all these things they've done. It's they got suspended once for 1 game out of all this, and so it's been going on for a while, and it really shows that the Department of Players said there needs to be a change in there. And again, there won't be. Let's be real. It's going to stay the same.
The worst part is George Parros will not be fired. The only way he gets out of this job is when he gets fucking promoted. I'm so scared of the day that Gary Bettman announces he steps down and George Parros takes his place.
No, that won't happen.
I don't know.
What does he have that he could run the NHL?
How hard is it? Each team manages itself.
Doesn't qualify for
you don't need to qualify. You need guys to like you in the league, and you need some type of seniority.
They still need someone that actually will know what they're doing, not a guy that's we're going to put this in because we like you and we're buddies, but you're going to do a shit job, but we're going to have to hold your hand. No.
I don't know.
It's most likely him. He's just going to probably be in the Department of Player Safety until Gary Bettman steps down, and then maybe someone new will fire him, or it's his until he doesn't want the job anymore and walks away.
You got to imagine that the NHL right now looks at it and they think he's done a good job. They put him forward to handle any tie-breaking decisions on suspensions in the Olympics. You don't do that for a guy that you think is doing a bad job, right?
No.
At the very least, they think he's doing fine.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
And again, it's not like everybody, it thinks. It's not like I'm sure there is a couple guys are wondering like, what the fuck are you doing? But
oh yeah, there's
it's they kind of look at it and it's the same way as us. It's like it's not going to change.
It's what are you allowed to say out loud at the workplace to not get fired? Like I'm sure a lot of guys in the league thinks he's a meathead, but if they say that out loud, they get fired because he's probably their boss, or even if not their direct boss, he's higher up in the league because head of Department of Player Safety is pretty high up. If you're on most of the totem pole, you're below it. So
yeah,
fuck man, I just really hope that something is able to change with that. I hope that other teams take notice and maybe start laying it on thick with the Panthers. Don't have to get dirty even. Like, a team like the Avalanche, the Stars, the Oilers especially. They're looking to gun for the cup, right? Mm-hmm. There's a damn good chance you're facing the Panthers in the finals. So even if, you don't go out there and brain somebody with a huge flying elbow, finish every check. Like, wear them down, like what's the harm in it, right? Like, if every team does it for one game, that's 32 extra games where these guys are getting just beat down more and more on top of all the extra games that they've played. We've already seen Barkov go down just through the sheer endurance it takes to play in all those
just
games,
the wear
all those
and tear
minutes.
that.
Like, it was a non-contact ankle injury. His body literally was just like, we've been strained for 3 years now. Like, just keep piling that on and it'll help. I'd love to see something change with it.
The last thing I'll say on this, with everything that's going on, again, a lot of people probably wouldn't like this, but I would love a Dallas, Florida Stanley Cup final, because I think that would just be super chaotic. And I think with some, and again, I think Dallas is going to buy a lot because we'll talk about him in a little bit more here. But man, they got guys that would go toe to toe with Florida on some of that stuff,
They
and again,
really
I think that was kind of
Colin
a big
Blackwell back.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of a big weakness
Mason Marchment.
Mason Marchment. I think that was a big weakness of Edmonton's by the end, because it's just a war to kind of get through, especially in the West at times, and they were just so worn down, and their guys that were the ones that were kind of brought in, expected to go toe to toe with Florida and whatnot, didn't, make it there even to play really, or were already just so beaten down that like they couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
And
part,
I think a Dallas Florida Stanley Cup final would be.
It would be interesting.
I could get excited to
it would be a chaos cup for sure. One last thing I'll say, just on the first part that you were talking about earlier that you touched on was how Hagel hit Barkov in the playoffs, and that's why they're going after him. I think a lot of people forget how that exactly went. First of all, it was a hard hit and interference. Yeah. It wasn't really a cheap shot, though. And not only was Hagel suspended one game, so he paid the piper, but Barkov came back that game.
Yeah.
I believe Barkov might have sat the next game, but I don't think he did.
Actually,
but
I think he did, yeah.
I think he missed one game and then came back the next game. But Hagel was out for that game. But if that doesn't count, okay, fine. Well, big forearm to Hagel's head. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. Okay, he's been suspended. Barkov's back, fine, and they win the cup. Hagel got injured and suspended. Surely it's over. Nope. Cheap shot, punch in the head.
They hold
knocks him out of the preseason.
Yeah.
Comes back next time, chicken wing elbow. Good God, Barkov's living his best life, man. He's fine. Like, what is this about? So
he's probably a little bit frustrated still right now.
He's got 2 cups in a row. He's fucking fine. He's making $10 million a year.
Yeah,
how sad can you feel for him?
Because the NHL is going back to the Olympics and he doesn't get to go.
Sit out.
Oh, hey, come on.
I hope we go out there and sucker punch Barkov the first game he comes back against us. And I hope it's no. I hope it's no. I hope it's no more vicious than the punch to Hagel. I hope it's no more than that. I hope it's the exact same. That's all. And you know what? I hope everything they do to Hagel after the first, you know what? I don't like that big forearm, the first one, but you know what? Fine. That was the first retribution. I hope we hit the elbow. I hope we hit the sucker punch and anything else they do to Hagel. Nothing else. Only what they've done. And I feel like that's not unfair. Is it psychotic? Kind of, but apparently that's where we're at. Dude, I hate that I have to hope bad things happen sometimes in this league, but holy fuck, that's how you win. Taking out starting goalies, taking out best players. Yes. No, let's get out of here.
The Central Division.
You said you tried to rile me up. You said you wanted to rile me up. Okay,
that is true. That is true. I did ask for this.
Let's go talk about a different war zone.
The Central Division, yes. Not the Atlantic Division. Again, we're not going to go into this in like a full-on conversation because we've done it, numerous times here before. But this is basically just to outline how insane this is. The Minnesota Wild. They won tonight. They beat and this actually helps prove my point even further here now. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Minnesota Wild now, they're on a 6-game win streak now, and they have outscored their opponents 16-4 in their 3 games with Quinn Hughes. They are in third place. Third place in the entire league. If the playoffs started today, they wouldn't have home ice advantage.
Probably for 2 rounds.
Yeah, like that's how ridiculous it's kind of starting to get God. When it's like the third best team in the league, arguably the hottest team in the league at this moment. Yeah, it's the playoffs started today, and most likely the case, regardless, they're going to have to be on the road. And that's just insane.
I'm starting to look at some of these teams in the Central that aren't those 3, and I'm starting to wonder, are they better than we give credit for? They just have to play the Avs 4 times a year, the Stars 4 times, the Wild 4 times. Maybe they're just really kind of screwed by their division. The Jets even. Like, the Jets have bought in so hard. They're trying to win now before their guys age out. And, man...
It's almost kind of like better and younger. But that's the thing. If you're the Jets, you almost kind of now, when you're looking at coming down the stretch of the season, because again, like you're not getting a divisional spot, you're going for a wild card spot.
Yeah,
fucking do the math and realize Colorado's going to run away with the Central Division. So they're going to be the number 1. So. Who doesn't even matter who in the Pacific. It's better than Colorado. So you don't even have to chase Minnesota, Dallas, Colorado. Just get that first wild card spot and know we're going to be on the Pacific side. We don't have to worry about all these teams unless we get to the Western Finals. Like, if you are Winnipeg and you finish wild card 2, I love you, Winnipeg, but you're not winning at all. There's a chance you can go on a run if you go on the Pacific side, and by the time you get to round 3, there's only going to be one of those 3 teams, and if some weird way, who'd be another wildcard team? The West is ass. Chicago, San Jose, actually, because Chicago might go downhill. Utah, Utah's perfect. If some way Utah can find a way to run the gauntlet there and knock off those 3 teams, even better. But if you only have to go through one of them, that's better than having to go through exactly. Right?
Honestly, that's really interesting because I could easily see the Jets. I don't see these Jets beating the Avs and then the Stars, but I could see them beating, the Golden Knights, the Ducks, whoever it is over there, and then maybe they. It sounds stupid, but they get lucky and get to face this version of the Minnesota Wild. But if you only face one of these teams, you might be able to knock them off.
And by round 3, they could be dinged up. They could be missing a couple guys.
They're going to be. That battle is going to be a nightmare.
It could just be a bunch of 7-game series across the Central all the way through, which would be very exciting. But so yeah, if you're Winnipeg, and you see Minnesota getting Quinn Hughes, don't be like, oh, we got to be drastic and make a big move. Just look at what Edmonton's doing, look what Vegas is doing, and build your team to go up against them. Minnesota's going to be building their team up to have to battle Dallas or Colorado, and then probably the other one potentially. If you're Winnipeg, just build a team that you think can beat Vegas, Edmonton, LA, and maybe you've got a chance.
Yeah.
But it's so goofy and just wrong that Minnesota is just third team in the league. But yeah, you wouldn't get home ice advantage. You wouldn't get home ice advantage throughout the entirety, except the Stanley Cup final if you got there.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Like
that's...
Oh, brutal. And they...
Actually, how would that work? I don't know if
they're
you know
trying
this,
to get ahead. They're trying to get ahead of the Avs and the Stars. They're on a 6-game win streak, but they're still 2 points back of the Stars and 8 points back of the Avs.
I can't remember if we've seen this in a while, but how would it work if Minnesota ran through the Central, got to the Western Finals, and they're up against Vegas, but Minnesota would be the Central 3.
I believe
Vegas
it goes on
Pacific
points
1.
percentage, so I think they would have. Okay. I think they would be the home team.
Okay. So you still got to get to the Western Finals if they'd want home ice advantage. Yeah. Potentially, unless Colorado
as third in the league
gets
is
upset
crazy
in the first round, which probably not going to happen because they won't have to play Dallas or Minnesota in round 1.
Yeah. Man,
but that was all I had to say there about the Central and all that.
I feel like we've never seen the NHL this competitive at the very top. Like we've seen teams buy in and stuff, but we're seeing top tier teams adding guys like Mikko Rantanen, Nikolai Ehlers, like all that. Like, man, it's the top 6 teams in the league are just hyper competitive right now. And I feel like it's just a changing of the guard. I feel like it's just different now. I feel like this is how the NHL is. Like, I feel like before guys weren't quite willing to buy all the way in, and now they've realized this is how you win. And I think at any given time for the next 30 years, that's how it's going to be. The teams will switch out. The players who are on those teams will switch out, but whoever's at the top will be trying to win much harder than we've seen the top teams, back in a 2015, like in the mid 15s kind of or 10s era. It's hard to win in the league.
It's not easy.
Gotta go all in.
We got a milestone here, pretty big one, not a whole lot to it, but Leon Draisaitl records career point number 1,000 against Pittsburgh. Stuart Skinner in the net.
Oh man!
And the whole team comes out to celebrate right beside Stuart Skinner when he's still in the crease.
It's been a while since I've seen a video that sad. Oh,
yeah,
he looks sad. He looks really sad. He wants to go over and cheer with them. He's looking away. He might have been crying in his mask. I'm not even joking.
I gotta imagine it was pretty shitty.
Also, after they realize it's Draisaitl's and everyone's going over there, McDavid looks back at him about 4 different times throughout the celebration. He wants Skinner in there too. Oh,
dude, it's
that one hurt. That one hurt. We all dunk on Skinner is funny and whatnot, but it wasn't his fault. And
we've been more.
It's easy to make jokes, but frankly, we've been much on the side.
There's a chance we could be his biggest defenders.
Yeah, we're right up there with Mr. and Mrs. Skinner. Honestly.
Yeah, but congrats to Leon Draisaitl on career point number 1,000. There's a couple other seasonal milestones that we could see this season. I don't know if you saw any of either of those before I put them in, but
I did not. Although I could have probably guessed with the second one because I believe he scored 2 more tonight. And man, I've tried trading for him a few times in fantasy because he shoots the puck like very few defensemen in the league. Of course, we are talking about Jacob Chychrun. He is currently on pace for 33 goals on the season. If he keeps up this pace, you watch a Capitals game and you know why. He shoots the puck like crazy and he's got a really good shot. Like,
makes you wonder if he's one of the guys that.
What did they get? What did they trade for him? Like Nick Jensen in a third or something?
Nick Jensen in a third. Yeah.
I defended that a little bit. I knew it was a bad trade then, but I was
and that's the thing, we all knew.
I was like, I think
but...
people know. I think people don't realize that Nick Jensen is pretty good, as opposed to most of the people think he's like average-ish. But I also didn't know Jakob Chychrun was this level.
Well, and I don't think he would be this good if he was still on Ottawa. Like, that's the thing people need to understand.
I think that's true.
First of all, Ottawa waited too long to trade Chychrun. They should have traded him before they did. That's why they didn't get as much back. It wasn't a bad return. And again, this Jakob Chychrun wouldn't be this on Ottawa.
No.
Like, it just wouldn't happen. And it makes you wonder if Chychrun's part of the reason why we could see both like Travis Sanheim and Thomas Harley get cut from Canada's Olympic team. Like, is Jakob Chychrun a guy who is in the
mix? You're looking for an offensive defenseman, why would it not be Chychrun? Why would it be Bouchard? I haven't seen many highlights of Chychrun that aren't goals. You know what I've seen of Bouchard? I've seen absolute muffins in front of the net, throwing pizzas into the slot. Like, I'm not seeing that with Chychrun. I think he would be a much better pick.
Yeah, and I think he's definitely earned. I mean, his play last season was incredible, and he's proving that it's not just a fluke. And going to Washington was the best place for him to go to. That happens all the time with players. Did you mention the McKinnon one yet, or did you start with Chychrun?
No, I started with Chychrun.
Okay, and then the other one, and this one, to no one's surprise as of right now, Nathan McKinnon on pace for 70 goals on the season.
Holy shit.
That would be insane if all these, and sorry Leafs fans, but all these Leafs fans hyping up like how it's going to be insane when Matthews breaks that hold the league on and gets to 70 goals and all this. Now it's like, yeah, Nathan McKinnon could.
Or the fact that people were for years dogging on McKinnon. He can't hit 100 points. He's a 99-point player. What about 70 goals? Like, yeah. I don't know if I expect him to get to 70. That's a lot. He could. He definitely could. I'd be shocked if he didn't get 60 goals at this point.
Yeah.
50 without injury, 55 goals is the floor. If he goes on a huge slump, I expect him to still hit 55.
Do you remember last year how crazy it was when the Rantanen and Necas deal happened? And a lot of people were saying, like, oh, McKinnon will never be the same without Rantanen. Rantanen will never be the same without McKinnon. It's like, McKinnon's first in the league with 58 points. Rantanen is tied for 6th with 44. Like, Rantanen's right up in there. Oh, and who's at 5? Marty Necas, because he works great alongside McKinnon as well. Like, that's the thing with great players is they can be good with whoever. I mean, it helps that, like, Necas is a top-end talent as well, but
he's not a top 5 scoring player anywhere else, really.
He was at one point at the start of the season
Carolina, I doubt he's there at this point with Carolina this year. You know, like I'm not saying he's not elite, but like
it helps when you have elite talent to play around. Exactly.
He's a top 20 to 15 scoring player that is a top 5 when put with
he's playing alongside Sebastian Aho in Carolina. Carolina's best player, great player, but again, like he's not Nathan McKinnon,
and
that's just a fact.
It's not particularly
right?
close, honestly.
Yeah,
like
and
I haven't seen Sebastian Aho take over a game like the way McKinnon does at least once a week.
The way it's going,
And I thought Rantanen would fall off a bit. I didn't think he would be the guy he's been in Dallas. I thought he would still be an incredible player. I didn't think he would be this good.
I knew he was going to be this good in Dallas. I was getting a bit worried at the start in Carolina, but then it was kind of just very clear that Rantanen wasn't. He knew he wasn't going to be staying in Carolina, so he knew the moment he got traded there, he was already one foot in, 1 foot out. He was
figuring out where else he'd go.
Yeah. But Dallas, I thought, was a perfect spot for him. And again, he goes to a team that they don't have a Nathan McKinnon, but they got a bunch of talent.
They got a Mikko Rantanen now.
Yeah. So Good on McKinnon, good on Chikrin. We'll keep an eye on both of that. You had something.
I totally had something.
So that can be I guess that'll be our last thing before we start to wrap this up. Not a lot going on in the league right now, so not a super long one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
So, I don't know how closely you've been keeping up with the PWHL this year. And I don't know if they end up playing that many less games or if they're just really spread out, because I believe they play their games they play once a week. It's not near as often. But have you seen any of the stats for one Aaron Frankel of the Boston Fleet?
No.
For those who don't know, that is their goaltender. I'm just going to throw it out there. Brundi, she's played 5 games. Guess her save percentage. I'm obviously asking because it's crazy. So
990.
You're really close. She has a 985 save percentage.
Wow.
5 games played, 5 wins, a goals against average of 0.4, and 3 shutouts. If she gets 1 goal scored on her in a game, she goes, fuck, my goals against average is going to skyrocket. If you shoot on her 1,000 times, she saves 985 of them. That is so ludicrous. What did Hellebuck win the Hart Trophy with last year? A
929. Did he get to 930 maybe by the end?
I think it dropped a bit. I think it was 926. I believe it might have been 930, but
I'll find out. I'll find out for you.
Yeah,
your guess is what was yours?
I think it was 926 or 925.
It was 929. 925.
It is okay. It was 925.
So we both lost. We both suck.
I said 26 or 25. I chickened out. I even knew it was 25, and I chickened out on the high side because I didn't want to seem like a hater.
You're a hater.
That's what I get.
Those are pretty insane numbers, though.
Yeah. So I just wanted to shout out Aaron Frankel because it's only the 5 games, but 985 is pretty crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Where's she from?
We'll never complain with that.
Damn it, she's American.
Shit,
take her to be the backup for Binnington. Would have been nice.
Ain't taking Logan Thompson, eh? Fuck, that's tough.
I hope so.
Alrighty. Well, again, not much going on, so we are into our final segment here.
Not much in the way of news. The actual hockey has been pretty solid.
Yeah. We are a week away from Christmas. I'm recording. So today we have a Christmas edition of 2 Real, 2 Fake.
Oh, shit.
A Christmas edition for it, and that being that all players' names, because again, 2 of them are real, 2 of them are fake, all are kind of Christmas-themed kind of names.
Oh, shit. Saint Nick, is he real or is he fake?
So it was very fun to find these players, and it was also very fun to create my own because, yeah. Christmas edition. So, for those who are
fantastic idea,
who are unfamiliar with the game, essentially, 2 of the players. I have 4 players. 2 of them are completely real. 2 of them are completely fake. I have little bios for each of them. It's up to you at home and brain to figure out who's real, who's fake. Pretty simple. All right. The first player we have up is Frosty McLean. Frederick Frosty McLean is a Canadian defenseman who went undrafted but made his NHL debut in 1987 with the St. Louis Blues. McLean getting the nickname Frosty due to him taking off his gear and having a cold shower in every second intermission. McLean spent 6 seasons with the Blues, 2 with the Flyers before hanging them up. He is now the current GM of the Sudbury Wolves in the OHL.
Oh, shit.
So that is Frosty McLean.
I got my answer on him locked in.
You ready for your second player?
Yeah.
Next up, we have Billy Carroll. A Canadian center drafted 38th overall by the Islanders in the 1979 draft. Carroll made his debut in the 80-81 season, winning the Stanley Cup that year with the Islanders, and the next two seasons.
When was he drafted?
1979.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 97.
His first 3 seasons in the league, he's got 3 cups. After falling short of the drive for 5 with the Islanders, he was later claimed off waivers by the Edmonton Oilers, where he went on to win the cup with them. He only played 57 games after winning that Stanley Cup, split time between the Oilers and the Red Wings before retiring. His nephew is an active NHL player today.
Interesting.
That's Billy Carroll. And when I say a notable NHL player.
Okay.
Guy you're a big fan of.
Probably like Radko Gudas.
Ready for your next player?
Yep.
I'm not. It's not Radko though. I love that. That's always your go-to.
Billy Carroll isn't Czech for real.
Billy Carroll. No, he was a Canadian center. Next up, we have Andreas Claus, a German center drafted 18th overall in the 85 draft by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Claus won 2 cups in the Penguins before being claimed by your Tampa Bay Lightning in the 1992 expansion draft. Claus played 3 seasons with the Lightning before being traded to the LA Kings. Claus retired in 2000 with 198 goals and 296 assists. So for those at home who are good at math, very just shy of 500 points. Claus currently serves as a developmental coach for Germany's U18 program. That's Andreas Claus.
Okay.
And ready for your last player?
I'm ready for the last player.
Last player we have here is Noel Picard, a Canadian defenseman who made his debut with the Canadiens in the 1964 season, where he went on to win the Stanley Cup. Noel played across 3 different leagues the following 2 seasons before joining the St. Louis Blues and retiring after 1 season with the Atlanta Flames. Picard went on to become a broadcaster for the Blues post-retirement from playing. That is Noel Picard. So you've got Frosty McLean, Billy Carroll, Noel Picard, and Andreas Claus.
I think that last one sounded a little extra real. I'm gonna have to change an answer on one of my other ones. And I think I have
extra real.
I think I've got my answers.
Yeah.
All right.
No debate. You're just locking in. All right. Let's hear it.
No, I've been thinking about it all on the way through. What sounds real, what sounds fake, and yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with my gut. First off, I'm gonna say Frosty McLean. I think he is real. I think he took all kinds of showers in the second intermission.
Okay.
Billy Carroll, a guy who won cups with the Islanders, then jumped ship to the Oilers, won cups there. Something tells me, even in passing, I would have heard that name before. Billy Carroll doesn't sound too fake, but I'm going to say he's fake. Okay. I feel like I would have heard of that. Originally, I had Andreas Claus as real until Noel Picard sounded a little bit more real. So I ended up swapping it, having Andreas Claus as fake and Noel Picard as real. So Frosty is real, Carroll is fake, Claus is fake, and Noel real are my answers.
Alrighty, so Noel Picard came in late there. 4th player to show his face on the board, and that got your head turning. You got your head turned the right way. He is real. You are correct there. You thought Andreas Claus. You thought he was real, the big German center.
But then I swapped it to fake.
And you did. You turned and thought he was fake, and you were correct. He is fake. He is not real. Frosty McLean, the Canadian defenseman, likes to take cold showers. You think he is real? And he is fake. He is not real.
Fake.
Which means that Billy Carroll, the Canadian center with the Islanders, go over to Edmonton, win a lot of cups. He is in fact real. His nephew is an active NHL player in the league. And on top of that, he's a current captain in the league.
Ooh.
Any guesses on who that could be for a bonus point here? I'll give you 2 guesses.
Oh, God.
And obviously
they don't have the
same last name. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Is Braden Shen still the captain in St. Louis?
He is currently the captain, yes.
I'll guess Braden Shen.
It is not Braden Shen.
Did you say where he's from, Billy Carroll?
Canadian center.
Canadian, so
I don't know why I said center, it's Canadian.
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume a Canadian. You said I like this player earlier.
I think you do, actually. I think you like him a lot.
You think I genuinely like him, or are you goofing?
No, I actually do, like an insane amount.
Okay.
I think you're actually a really big fan of him. Like, and it's no joke. Like, I think it's just a player I know. It's not even I know you really like him.
I'm racking my brain. I'm not coming up with a whole lot. Jared Spurgeon.
Columbus. Boone Jenner.
Boone. You're right. You're right. He's a good player. I'm a Boone fan. I'm on the Boone wagon. I thought you were saying like, oh, you like this player. I thought it was going to be Mark Stone.
Oh no! It's just I was actually just being serious. Just good boy that you like.
That was one part that kind of threw me off when you were listing them. I thought you were trying to trick me with that. I thought you were like, oh no, yeah, and
I was debating on
to a player that I know you like, and I was kind of like, is he laying it on thick or is that real? It was real.
I'm glad I was debating on putting that in, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Honestly, I probably would have had Frosty McLean as fake, but I felt like Billy Crystal felt a little more fake, so I ended up
Billy Carroll
as fake.
But close enough, though. Close enough.
Billy Frosty, Center Canada.
You have no idea how much fun I had making Frosty McLean.
Honestly,
I had so much fun.
As soon as you read it the first time, I was like, it's not that weird. Like, you were like, they drafted him in the 87. Okay, so he plays in the 90s. By that point, guys are having showers in between periods. That's not weird. They're not calling him Frosty for that. But then something about Billy Carroll felt too fake, so I had to call him fake and switch him.
Yeah, I had so much fun with that one. But that was Too Real, Too Fake Christmas edition. Well done. You went a nice 2-2 on that one, so nothing wrong with that. We're all winners here at the end of the day. But that is it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are enjoying the holiday season. Yeah. If you want to talk hockey, let us know your thoughts on the episode. Anything we didn't discuss, anything you want us to discuss. If you have any thoughts on the upcoming Olympics or anything surrounding that, you can do so through any of our socials or over on YouTube as well. Braden, it is that time, as always. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Obviously, a rather incendiary segment of the episode earlier. We were talking about injuries, Department of Player Safety, all of that. And obviously, that's one of those types of segments that people are going to have some of the stronger opinions on, as I clearly do, and you did as well. So if you're still listening, you had strong opinions. Maybe not, the same way that I had strong opinions.
No, I know.
But you still had opinions on it.
I still got you riled up, though.
No, you absolutely did. And you said that, and I was like, I wanted to say no, but I was like, I mean, yeah, you probably should be trying to do that, even if it's annoying.
It's all
but at home and listening, if you have any incendiary or important thoughts or just any observations, if you want to correct us on when Barkov played in the playoffs, any of that stuff, let us know in the comments below on YouTube. And I believe quite a few of the other areas have comments as well. But if not, you can also find us on all our socials.
Yep, they're all linked down below. So click any of them, come over, say hi, talk hockey, chat, all that good stuff. But that is it for this one fun time. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, we'll see all of you lovely people out on the ice next week.